in huge blockbuster movies like Ocean's 11, 12, and 13, and Godfather 3, which earned him an Oscar nomination. Garcia has also produced and starred in some really great independent films, including City Island and most recently At Middleton. That's a movie that he shot entirely in eastern Washington on the Gonzaga and WSU campuses. At Middleton tells the story of two parents who take their teenagers to tour a college and wind up learning more about themselves and what makes them truly happy than the kids do. I've done that, drive the kid around to college. You guys will be doing that pretty soon. Andy Garcia, welcome back to the Bob Rivers Show. How are you, sir?
Thanks for having me. Thank you very much. I'm doing well. Thank you.
My pleasure. You are quite an accomplished actor, and you've done a lot of roles. You know, a lot of Hill Street Blues, Godfather, stuff that 8 Million Ways to Die. Is this kind of a romantic comedy? Is this kind of thing something that is refreshing for you?
Yes, it's a genre I've always enjoyed throughout, my life, and I've had not as many opportunities to explore it in my career, but I'm not complaining. I mean, just to be an actor who can work, where he's working, and can raise a family doing it is a blessing, But it's something that I enjoy very much, and it's a genre that I'm comfortable in, and I want to do more of it. I did a movie a couple of years ago called City Island, which I also produced.
Right. And this is your project. And by the way, a couple of questions. Joe saw the movie the other day. Really, really, truly enjoyed it.
Yeah,
right?
I watched it last night, and it was really great, and it makes me look at where I might be in 3 or 4 years. Probably not the being unhappy with my wife part and all that, but
at least not here on the radio.
Yeah, taking my kid over to Eastern Washington, which I want to say thank you for choosing our state. I don't know how much you had to do with that, but you shot the whole thing in Washington.
Oh, yes.
We
shot it at Gonzaga University and Washington State University.
Well, we appreciate the business.
Why did you choose Washington? Did we offer you a good deal?
A couple of things. One, we were looking specifically for these bell towers that are in the story, in an integral part of the story. Mm. And Gonzaga had these beautiful bell towers that we were able to shoot in. And also the state provided an incentive for us as independent filmmakers, 30% incentive to work there. And they had the local production companies that were very helpful, North by Northwest out of Spokane, and so it was great.
Washington is a good place to work. Yeah,
it was a beautiful, idyllic campuses, and you saw how beautifully they photographed. And,
yeah, it's a short flight too from L.A. here. More people should come up here. We don't tax you to death. It's a great deal.
It's a great state, and I got to know Seattle a little bit on the way out. We stopped over there. We've been to the festival there. We premiered the movie at the Seattle Film Festival, and I had never been to the Seattle area, and it's really a beautiful, beautiful town.
Well, you could buy up tons of Seattle. You could buy up a whole island for yourself here. You can come out here often.
Please do.
With my Caribbean blood, I'm not sure if I'll survive the first winter.
Yeah, we're actually. Well, it's not bad, but you're right. You like Florida? Are you in Miami and L.A.?
I live in Los Angeles, yeah. But I was born in Havana, grew up in South Florida, and still have a home there. But I'm in Los Angeles.
And you have a fascinating life as a Cuban American. You are you say your dad was brave and exiled from Cuba, and you're here, and America has been the land of opportunity for you.
Absolutely.
If you would say something good about America, because I've been looking over the cable channels and I can't find anything good about America these days. Tell me something wonderful.
Well, I mean, the cliche of this is the land of opportunity is actually the absolute truth. I mean, America has been built by immigrants from its inception. Obviously, if you go back to the days where the Native Americans were here, everyone who came here were looking for opportunity and for really a way of life that guaranteed their civil liberties. They weren't getting back home. And we were blessed. I mean, the fact that my mother had the courage to take our young family. We were under the Castro regime for 2.5 years, and they quickly, by then it was just, we were lucky to get out. If not, my life would have been a lot different than it is today. And so, I was blessed. And when I got here, the future was in my hands. You have to work. No one's going to hand anything on a silver platter here. But if you're diligent and you're persistent and you prepare yourself and you have a dream, this is the country that can fulfill it.
You mentioned the bell towers, Andy, in the movie. I don't want to give away the whole thing, but you are afraid of heights. That's part of the movie, and you go up in the tower. In real life, are you afraid of heights, or is there anything you have a fear of?
Not really. Not to the degree this character is. I think we all, if we get a bit, 40 stories high and there's a railing, we kind of go, oh, okay. Is that sensation of saying, some people say, and sometimes you feel it, it's like you get a little bit too close and you get the sensation that you want to jump off.
And one other scene I want to ask you about. I don't want to tell the whole story, but there is a pretty cute scene that involves you smoking some pot. No, that's legal in Washington. So, do you guys use stunt pot or do you use real pot?
No, it was some sort of lettuce.
It was some sort of lettuce.
It's called cinema magic, Joe.
It's part of the deal they made with the state for the tax break.
It's called acting, Joe.
Acting.
Yeah, it's called acting. You are, by the way, you're considered quite a hot ticket, and you've been on lists of people would like to see you. They'd like to see more of you if you were in films, and you're on the record as saying that you won't do any undressing for the camera. Is that true?
This is true. This is true.
Is it modesty? I mean, because you're,
Well, first of all, I don't know if there's a wide enough lens for that scene.
Attaboy!
And then, listen, it's not my style,
Yeah.
First of all, I'm a husband and a father of, 3 girls, and I just don't. Those kind of things don't. I'm more interested in the scene, the foreplay scene, the repartee. I think that's where, and leave it up to the imagination. That's the type of cinema that I'm interested in.
That's where I do my best acting, right there.
This movie gets absolute rave reviews. Joe absolutely loved it, and Andy, it's great to talk to you. Nice to see you. All the best to you, sir. Thanks for being here in Washington. All right, take care. Bye.
Released in selected markets, but it'll be in Seattle, in a theater in Seattle tomorrow night, and then also on video on demand, so you can see it simultaneously if you want to stay home, because it's either raining, which it does a lot in Seattle, I know.
You can also order it on iTunes, I'm reading as well.
Yeah, I'll start tomorrow.
Andy Garcia, all the best to you, sir.